The Bersa B1911. Let's check it out. Bersa was founded in 1958 in Argentina by Italian immigrants. They were mechanical engineers from Beretta, and they began to produce really quality firearms. What they're most known for is their Bersa Thunder 380. This is a very reasonable price copy or clone of the PPK. And now Bersa is introducing their 1911, and it's the B1911, but made right here in the USA. They opened up facilities in Cartersville, Georgia. They started out with an AR-15, really good quality, and now this 1911. We're going to check out all the details. It's a very beautiful handgun. There's a number of different models, but aside from their more budget-friendly Bersa Thunder 380, Bersa makes a number of different firearms, and they kind of fly under the radar. And while there are a lot of 1911 pistols out there being made, it's always nice to get a good quality 1911. Just gives us more choices. I want to give a big thank you to Bersa USA for sending the B1911 for this review. And guys, I'm a huge 1911 fan. We have a lot of reviews of 1911s. So we're going to check out all the details to make sure this is worthy to add to your collection. The Bersa B1911, 45 ACP, government size, 5-inch barrel, beautiful stainless. In fact, this is 416R stainless, has a matched barrel. We'll take a good look at that in a minute. I mean, this has just a lot of features that your current 1911s are offering. And this is just a very well done handgun. Some of you guys are going, why do we need another 1911? And that is a good question, and we're going to talk about it. And why would Bersa, which is an Argentine-based company that makes these in Cartersville, Georgia, what gives them any kind of credibility toward 1911s? Well, Argentina has a long history with 1911s, and this is the model 1927. It is under Colt license. These were made before World War II, and very high quality 1911s. And this is, I mean, it's been around for a long time. This is a surplus pistol I picked up a few years ago. Argentina has a very rich history for firearms. And not only the system's 1927, but also their Ballester Molina, which is a 1911 style. Doesn't have the grip safety, doesn't have the removable mainspring housing, and the grips are a little different. They don't just fit normal 1911 grips. This is an excellent handgun. I've had this for years and years, and they're just great, reliable, accurate handguns. And so Bersa does have a heritage with Argentina for 1911s. But Bersa's known for their Thunder 380s, what really put them on the map. And this is actually the Thunder 380 Plus. It has 15+1 rather than the standard 8+1. It's a clone of the Model PP, actually, and this is just a great double single action pistol. It has an aluminum frame, so it's lightweight, much lighter than the standard PPK and PP. Blowback action, fixed barrel, very accurate, and these have been extremely popular, especially when single stacks were the rage. Once double stacks came out, a lot of your single stack kind of went to the wayside, but this is still an excellent handgun. And Bersa also makes their TPR series, which is a double single action handgun, very similar to your SIG P226. All ambidextrous features. This is a great firearm. We did some reviews on a number of different models of these. And this is something that a lot of people have never even heard of, but these are just really excellent handguns. So Bersa does have a background in a lot of different firearms. Again, they started out in 1958, so they've been around for a long time. Now that they've moved the manufacturing facility here to the U.S., they're making, of course, the 1911, but they also introduced this past year their Bersa BAR-15, which is an AR-15, a very good quality AR, especially for the price. Now that's one thing about this handgun. We're going to look through a lot of the quality features. I think this is really outstanding, and we'll see that when we get inside. But it's a very well-made handgun, and yet the price is reasonable. So first thing let's do is drop our magazine, 8 rounds. It is a Medgar magazine, and you get 2 with the gun, and the chamber's empty. Now, that hammer comes into that rear position, and we have an extended safety, frame safety, and it is ambidextrous. And this is considered, with one in the chamber, cocked and locked with a full magazine. This is the way I carry it. It's the way I would recommend you carry it. But it's ready to go. Now, one of the things about this particular 1911, it is the original 70 series. The 80 series had a firing pin block. The 70 series does not. But with the 70 series, it gives you a better trigger pull, and it's smoother with the action. And this has a very smooth slide to frame fit. In fact, this has been lapped and hand fitted at the Bersa factory, and you can really tell it once you pick it up. And so with those 2 magazines, a lot of times with 1911s you get one. Again, this will fit a number of different type magazines that are 1911. We tried a number when we went to the range. And so it's really capable. And I'll tell you up front, we had no malfunctions with this handgun. We're going to look at the tolerances to see how it's fitted. And that's one of the things about a 1911 is if the tolerances are really tight, it can affect reliability, but it gives you excellent accuracy. If the tolerances are too loose, like they are with most of your old GI 1911s, you get great reliability, but not so much in accuracy. So really, the goal is to get that in-between spot. Now I want to start out with the finish. It's a stainless finish. It's a brushed matte finish. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very well done. I love that there are no big billboards on the side. You just have a B with a circle here on the back and on this side. But otherwise, there are no markings on the slide, which makes it really clean. The beautiful G10 grips, and of course these are probably VZ grips, has a nice thumb rest right here. The checkering looks like 30 lines per square inch, extremely well executed. I love it. A lot of times with a 1911, it's a slick front. And then we have a flat mainspring housing with that same checkering on the back. And this is aluminum. And one of the huge benefits of having this checkering on the front strap and the mainspring housing having a lot of checkering is that when you grip the handgun, you are gripping from front to back, not from side to side. And while the texturing on the grip is important and it does help, this is where you get most of your gripping surface. And so this is going to help mitigate the recoil much better. It gives you more control over the firearm. And then we have a nice high rod beaver tail just to distribute the surface right behind the web of your hand, just to give you better control, give you a really high ride up on the handgun. And also it protects you from this hammer, which is more of a Delta style hammer or skeletonized hammer. And it does have serrations here so you can cock it if you want to. But the beaver tail also acts as a grip safety, and that is the way the original 1911s were designed. And so it's dual purpose, but I like it better than just that nub on the traditional government models. Now as we drop our safety, you have to depress the grip safety for it to fire. And you can see we got the safety off and it's not going to fire. Once we engage the grip safety, and it's a passive safety, then the gun will fire. So this really makes for a very safe carry option because of that grip safety, especially when you're re-entering it into holsters or you're just handling the firearm. Now all the accents and the different features are black. So the beaver tail, the extended ambidextrous safety, and your slide stop and your mag release. Mag release jettisons the mags. I mean, it pops them way out, and I like that it just clears the gun really easily. Some, when you hit it, it just barely pops out and you actually have to pull it out. So they did a good job on making this able to pop out. Nice little undercut right here to get your hand up on that high ride of the 1911. It's the way I love to shoot it. We have front and rear cocking serrations. They are wide and spaced out, and they are really easy to grab and great for press checks. No accessory rail, which honestly, I like that on some, but for me, I love that traditional look of the 1911. It's just very clean. But the mag release cannot be switched to the other side, which is typical for your 1911, but it has nice checkering, and then we have nice checkering on the slide stop. There's a lot of premium features that are built in just to the different functions of the handgun. And we have a slight bevel right here in the mag well because these 1911 mags are pretty straight walled, and so having that just a little bit allows you to be able to get that magazine in there very quickly. It is the original barrel bushing design, and it has a traditional guide rod, and we'll look at that when we break it down, but this fits to the barrel, and this is what really gives you good accuracy. But this handgun has been lapped and fitted together, hand fitted, to make it really slick, and again, the tolerances. So we're going to take a look at the tolerances because it's really nice. The slide to frame fit, there is no perceivable movement whatsoever. With the barrel, no movement. The barrel is crowned, and so that's going to actually preserve your accuracy as well. But the bushing is fit to the recoil spring plug, and so it really locks that up, and it's a good fit to the barrel, and you can see that because there's no gaps. Here on the back, same thing. No perceivable movement whatsoever with that slide to frame. And the extractor is well mated to the slide, and it is black along with the other controls of the handgun. Now the sights are blacked out here at the rear, and we have that Novak style with it sloping up, and we have a tritium bead with a orange circle around it. I love that setup. It's one of my favorites now. I love that, just that black outline, and it really allows that dot to show up very well. And you do get those night sights, and it is dovetailed in. We got a skeletonized trigger with windows, and one of the things about the 1911, because it is single action, they can have some of the best triggers out there for a handgun. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the trigger, and we have take up right to here, very smooth, and then a very nice break. Reset right there. Trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge. 3 pounds, 4.8 ounces. 3 pounds, 5.4 ounces, just under 3.5 pounds. Now guys, there are a lot of 1911s that are out on the market. There's a number of companies. We have a lot of choices. So it really comes to mind is why offer a new 1911. First off, you have a lot of competition. And so you really want to make the best quality that you can make for the right price. There are a number of 1911s out there that are decent 1911s, but the fit and finish suffers somewhat to give you a better price. It's one of the things that really struck me with this is the quality and the finish, and we'll look at it again when we get inside, is just exceptionally done. It has all the controls. The outside finish, very well done. And that's something that with a lot of budget 1911s, you're not going to get. And to be honest with you, once we talk about price, I mean, this is coming in at an excellent price. And yet it has that hand fitting with the slide in the frame. The bore of the barrel has been micro polished, and the rifling has actually been sharpened to just give you better accuracy. So there's a lot of handwork that goes into these handguns, and really with the slide to frame fit, because the slide rails are fairly long and you have a lot of contact with the slide. So it translates into better and smoother shooting out on the range. And the weight on the Bersa Model B1911, 39.95 ounces. It is about 40 ounces. It's all steel and it's ready for action. All right, big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammunition, all made in the USA, one of the #1 suppliers of ammunition in the country. And also, these will work with Lula loaders, but they're just single stack, so I just like to load them by hand. Bersa, known for the Thunder 380, but they do make a number of different other firearms that are really high quality. The Thunder is more of a, a fairly inexpensive concealed carry piece. Still a great little gun, but they've moved some of their facilities now to the US. We did a review on the AR-15 that was really nice, and now with the 1911, which this really surprised me. When I got it, I mean, the fit and finish is excellent. You've already seen part of the tabletop. I mean, it's just a beautiful handgun, and there's a number of different models. The G10 grips, the checkering on the front, and the mainspring housing really allow you to lock in the ambidextrous safeties. Of course, you get your 8-round magazine. So far, I mean, this has just been a great shooting gun. Now, one time we were shooting with a Wilson combat mag, and the slide didn't hold open. But as long as we're using their magazines, or actually even the Colt magazines, it's just functioned flawlessly. That grip, the texturing makes a huge difference. It's a 1911, it's going to shoot like a 1911, but it does have those forward slide serrations, no accessory rail, but honestly, for a 1911, I like the lines. The sights with that tritium bead at the front and blacked out at the rear, the Novak style, it makes it really easy to get on target. And really, I'm putting it into one little blob on the target. I mean, there's a number of 1911s out there, but this one, made right here in the USA, beautiful handguns. So it's just really nice just to have more options. Dadgummit. Now for disassembly, we're going to drop our magazine, check to make sure the gun is unloaded, and it is. We're going to drop our hammer, we're going to bring up our barrel. Now you have your recoil spring plug here, and you have your barrel bushing. So you're going to want to depress your recoil spring plug, and it's going to release your barrel bushing. And so we're going to turn it to 9 o'clock, keep pressure on that plug because it can come flying out. And then we're just going to take off the cap. Next, we're going to go ahead and bring back our slide, and we're going to line up this first notch with the slide stop. And once we get that lined up, you can push through your slide stop from the other side. So we're just going to push it out, and it comes right out. It's a pretty good and tight fit. Now just bring your slide forward off your frame. Here we're going to go ahead and just pull our guide rod and our recoil spring out. Next we're going to take our barrel bushing, put it to about 4 o'clock, and then we're going to remove it. And then we can just bring our barrel out, making sure the link is in the down position. And guys, once you disassemble a 1911 a couple of times, it's really simple. Again guys, the fit and finish on the inside of this slide is superbly done, very crisp, very well finished. No tooling marks here, same thing. I mean, you can tell that this has been very well finished. I've been very impressed with the finishing of this handgun. I just think they did an excellent job, and that speaks a lot for the quality of the handgun in itself. The frame does have a little bit of feed ramp built in, and then we have the barrel. This again has been micro polished, the bore and the rifling has been sharpened, and we do have a crown. So really nice barrel system, again, all stainless. Overall guys, it's just a very well finished handgun. Now we're going to take the barrel, make sure the link's down in the down position, go ahead and bring in your barrel, and then we can go ahead and put on our barrel bushing. Again, we're going to put it on about 4 to 5 o'clock, and then we'll just turn it to 9 o'clock. Next we're going to go ahead and put in our guide rod, and we're going to set it on the barrel and bring our barrel link up. That's what your slide stop goes through. And then we're going to bring this frame and the slide together, We're going to line up that notch. But before we get everything lined up, I look for the barrel link to appear and I go ahead and put my slide stop in there. Now raise up your slide stop and bring it over and hit that small detent. Now this detent is pretty tight. In a lot of the original 1911s, it was a lot tighter than some of the new ones. And so getting that up in there can be a little bit of a chore. So we're going to see if we can get it in. And it's tight. So we're going to have to take something and just depress that detent. That really just holds in your slide stop. And as I depress that detent, I want to make sure I'm got my slide and my frame together in that little notch. There it goes. A very tight fit on that. So just be careful because you can scratch the frame, and that is one thing you don't want to do. Now we're going to take our recoil spring plug and we're going to depress the spring, and then we're going to bring around our barrel bushing and we're going to hear this click. There it goes. Making sure that that barrel bushing is fit to the guide rod spring plug. Test for function, and we're back in business. And guys, a cleaning kit recommendation would be Otis Technology. They've been making cleaning kits for decades. And they are the official supplier for the U.S. military for their cleaning supplies. Also, their little tactical kit, which this is a cleaning kit that wraps up. You do have bore snakes or rip cords in here, and this is something the U.S. military carries in the field. So great little kits. Also, they own Shooter's Choice, and they have all the different bore solvents and CLP. So a great way to keep your firearms maintained, and we really appreciate Otis for being one of our channel sponsors. Comes in a nice hard case. It's got some depth to it, has a pressure valve, nice grab handle, rubberized coating. We have some locks here we can put. Closed foam padding all around. We have 2 8-round Metgar magazines. Does come with the owner's manual, of course, and different paperwork. It's a very well done owner's manual. Color pictures, how to disassemble, a lot of the different things about this handgun. This is just a great owner's manual, but love the box. Now when it comes to price, the MSRP is $1,050, but I'm seeing these around the $850 to $825 range, which is an excellent price for the quality you're seeing. It has a lot of features to it with the extended beaver tail and the ambidextrous safety, the sights, including a night sight, and of course the G10 grips. You get 2 magazines with the pistol. For the quality you're getting, honestly, I feel like it's way above its pay grade. So what are pros and cons? Well, it's just a beautifully finished, well-fitted handgun. I think there's been a lot of attention paid to details. The fit and finish, though, is one of the best things. It's just a beautiful gun. They do have a number of different models, and so you can check those out, even two-tone, highly polished, black. I mean, they've really come out with a number of handguns. It is in .45 caliber only. They haven't introduced any 9mm yet, but I'm sure that's coming because there is a lot of demand for it. The front checkering, very well done. Again, looks like 30 lines per inch, and then nice mainspring housing just to give you a lot of grip and gripability. Wide slide serrations, I like that. And of course, lowered and flared ejection port. So overall, for a 1911, I mean, this is just very well done. What are some cons? Well, if you want an accessory rail, they haven't released that yet. If you want 9mm, they haven't released that. And if you want 10, of course, that'll come later. The detent is very strong. Again, that is more the traditional lines of your 1911. There used to be a tool you could get to actually depress that to get in your slide stop. So that was a little bit of a chore just getting that in. But to me, that is a very minor thing because it just tells you that the fit and finish of this gun is exceptional. But really, as far as any other cons, the finish is great, the reliability was excellent, the accuracy was excellent. So overall, I think this could make a really good choice. The fact is, guys, again, there are so many 1911s out there that there's a lot of competition. So you need to make sure that you're putting out a very nice quality firearm for a reasonable price. And when I say reasonable, that just means that for the features and the work that you're getting. So again, while I was surprised with the Bersa, Argentina has a rich heritage with the 1911, and so this definitely lends itself to the heritage of Argentina, but yet it's made right here in the USA. Well guys, the Bersa B1911, great quality, excellent fitment. I mean, it's just a very smooth shooting handgun. And to be honest, I mean, it's just a gorgeous 1911. I mean, guys, there's a blue bazillion 1911s out on the market. And really for the price, I think that the Bersa B1911 stands toe-to-toe with about any other production 1911 on the market. And again, a big thank you to Bersa USA for sending the B1911 for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. See if this is really worth its what? Worth its jet flying over. The really excellent checkering on the front strap and on the a slight beaver tail right here in the mag well. I mean, no, the standard market value. No, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that because I don't want to. What's currently being put out there, and so you have to just decide. Because it can and will pop out. Why is that not going? First thing I want to do is break this down. Definitely surprised me when Bertha got in touch.